What's happening, ER Shred family? Happy Sunday. I hope you all have had an amazing weekend, doing some fun, spending time with family, whatever it is. This is take two. If you saw me on a second ago, I don't know what the hell happened, but we're going to try this again. If we've not met before, hello, how are you? Virtual high five, virtual fist bump. I am Coach Jesse, ER Shred Health/Nutrition Coach, and it is my absolute pleasure to have you in this community. It's my pleasure to serve this community. It's my passion. It's my thrive. It's what gets me going every day. Literally watching people take back control of their lives and radically shift the momentum of what's happening with their physical, with their mental, with the things that are going on in their life. It is just such a pleasure. It's one of the things I'm most excited about in life. So it's my pleasure to just be here with you guys. Do me a favor as you come in. Drop into the comments. Let me know where it is you're coming in from. Say hello. I want to make sure that I acknowledge you. Tonight, we're going to dive in real quick. We're going to go high value. I am seeing a theme in the group and I want to address it. And I want to share with you some tips and tricks that I've learned over the course of years, things that I've learned for myself, things that I've paid thousands of dollars to learn. I've utilized them myself. I've now put them into my practice of dealing with my coaching clients, whether it's health coaching, nutrition coaching, whatever the case may be. And they have had radical shifts. They've been able to help people, myself included, create radical shifts in their life. And I want to serve that to you guys tonight because I really think that it's a missing piece of the puzzle to so many issues out there that people are struggling with. You know, if you look into the comments, I'm seeing quite a bit of people talking about starting and stopping. We're talking about, I can't seem to get through the day, or I've done really well and I believe in isogenics and I believe in ER Shred, or I believe in this, but for some reason, whatever that reason may be, I'm finding myself starting and stopping. How many times now throughout the years have you found yourself starting and stopping? Whether it's with your health, whether it's with something else that you've committed to, it could be taxes, it could be following through on dates with friends, it could be whatever. You find yourself in these positions of not following through, of not going the extra mile, of not doing what you said. And in essence, when you really think about it, really what you're doing is you're not holding, what's up, Tim? Billings, Montana. You're not holding yourself to a high value. You're putting other things over yourself. And so we're going to address a couple things. I want to share some tools with you, and we're going to get in, we're going to get out because I want to respect everybody's time tonight. But these are really, really important things that if you're willing to evaluate them, if you're willing to really look at them, if you're willing to answer the questions, not to me, not in the comments, not to anyone else, but to you, the person looking back at you in the mirror, if you're willing to do that, I can almost guarantee you that this is going to help catapult you into anything that you want to do in life, anything that you want to do. And I appreciate that that's a really big statement. But here's the things. So the first thing I want to share with you guys is, what does it actually take to succeed? We have so much nutritional training in the ER Shred now. I think it's pretty clear that we help people get back on the tracks. We're not going to tell you what to eat, how to eat, when to eat. We're going to give you the basic foundational pieces that every human being can thrive off of. And if you're not sure of the foundational pillars of the ER Shred, it's really simple. There's three. It's getting your high quality daily protein is non-negotiable. There are just way, way too many scientific studies and way too much real evidence to show that that is just a non-negotiable. If optimal health is something that you're looking for, properly learn how to hydrate yourself because it's crucial to every day, to systems inside your body, and move your ass, like move your body in some way, shape, or form every single damn day. And that doesn't mean that you got to be lifting weights. That doesn't mean you got to be on the treadmill. That means you can walk. That means you can do yoga. That means you can do Zumba. That means you can sit and stand. That means that you can just stretch if that's the level that you're at, whatever it may be, something to stimulate your body more so than you've been doing up until this point. Those are the three foundational pillars. And then everything else outside of that is an experiment. It's a journey. We call it figuring out your individual food and life blueprint. And that's the power. That's the empowerment piece that you hear people talking about all the time. And really, you hear so much more of that coming from the people that have been around for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, a year, 2 years, right? Those people that have been willing to stick it out, that have been willing to go the long haul, those are the people that you really hear screaming from the rooftops about this empowerment piece, because you start to realize as you continue to go on, if you don't quit, that this really isn't so much of a health transformation as it is a mind transformation. This is more of a mental piece versus everything else. You see, friends, I can give you all the tools in the world. I can lay out the most magnificent program that you've ever seen. It can be simple. It can be the most nourishing foods on the planet. But if we don't have the most important muscle under control, and that's the muscle that lies between our two ears, I happen to got big ones, so I can find mine easy because these are like Dumbo ears. And I'm talking about your mind. And if we don't have our mind right, the chances of long-term success are going to be dismal at that, right? It's not going to be very good. So with that being said, here are some things that I've learned that I've paid thousands of dollars to learn from gurus and self-development coaches. And, I've been at this for 20 years now, and this is a passion of mine. And I will go to the ends of the earth to continue to learn, because I don't think that I'm ever there. I don't think there's a place that's there. I just can't imagine being there, waking up one day going, oh, that's it. I learned everything. Oh, that's it. I made it. Like, I just don't understand that logic. So that's not where I'm coming from. I am constantly learning. I am constantly divulging new information. I am constantly putting myself in uncomfortable situations to learn new things in the hopes that I can pass those on to people. So your journey can still be a journey of self-exploration, but it's going to be shortened. So instead of taking you 15 years to figure it out like it's taken me, if I can help you do that in 6 months, 7 months, even 8 months, even a year, the value that can bring to someone's life, that shortcut, is really what it's all about for me. And I hope that that's where this comes from. So with that, I'm going to share with you some things. I saw a post today, and I've been seeing these posts popping up about, I don't understand why I'm starting and stopping. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble. I'm looking for these tips and these tricks. I'm looking. And from a coaching standpoint, the biggest problem that I see with that is you're looking outside of yourself for answers that I truly believe you have inside you. You have all the answers that you need inside you. Yes, there's guidance. Yes, there's tips. Yes, there's some shortcuts, but I believe you have the answers inside you. And one of the most important things that I've learned about success is that you need massive action in order to succeed. And that's why I love the initial Shred protocol, whether you're taking the original 11-day protocol that we've ran for 2 years, whether you're doing it in the new way where you're taking, 2 to 3 weeks of shake and stake, and you're allowing your body the time to understand what's going on. You're getting it back into emotion. You're fueling it with the most nutrient-dense foods. But no matter how we do it, success needs action. Change as you have to, alter as you go, figure it out along the way, but success needs action. And we also need a mission. And I know so many of you have heard this, and this is something I want to share. We're going to break down how to get to this real quick, but we need a mission. We need a why. And, you can say, I believe in isogenics, and I believe in the Shred, and I believe in this, and I believe in that. And I want to challenge you to say, where's the belief in yourself? Where's the belief in yourself? Because no matter what comes your way, no matter what tools you have, no matter what systems, protocols, food, shopping list, personal guru, personal chef, it doesn't matter. You can have all of that. But unless you have self-belief, belief that you are worthy of anything, whether it's better health, whether it's better relationships, whether it's whatever, fill in the blank. If you don't have that self-belief, that mission, the chances of long-term success, which is the goal, lifestyle approach, are going to be very slim. And the why is really, really important. Like, what do you want to do this for? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And losing weight is not a good enough why. I'm sorry to tell it to you. I'm just going to tell it to you the way it is. I always do. When I ask people, why do you want to be healthy? And they say, I want to lose weight. I'm like, congratulations. So does 1 million plus other people. Why do you want to lose that weight? Why is it important to you? If you lose 50 pounds, 60 pounds, 70 pounds, how is it going to radically alter your life? How are you going to show up to life differently? What is it going to look like? What is it going to feel like? What is it going to smell like? What is it going to taste like? Literally, I need you to get that specific. And I'm going to share with you how to do that in a second. But we need a mission. Momentum is also extremely necessary. So if we look at, if we look at a chain, I want you to imagine or draw it out if you have a notepad, a pen and notebook. Write 4 squares. So 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4 squares. So 1 square on top of another, side by side, like a square. 4 squares to make a square, okay? And in between those, I want you to draw an arrow from the square on your left to the square on your right, and then down, and then over, and then up. And in the first box, put potential. And in the second box, put action. And in the box underneath action, put results. And then in the box that goes over, the last one, certainty/belief. So you have potential, you have action, you have results, and you have certainty/belief. The real secret to momentum is certainty. It's certainty and belief. Think about it, right? If we don't have certainty and belief, how in the world are we actually going to create the momentum? If we don't believe that we can do something without a shadow of a doubt, how do we create the action? How do we create the results that leads from the action? We can have all the potential in the world. I see people that have potential every single day. There's people that are way smarter than me, but yet they can't figure out life. There's people that know more about me than nutrition, but yet they can't figure it out on their own because they're academic. They can't put it into practical. They have potential, right? So you can have all the potential in the world, but if you don't have the belief and the certainty that you can do something, that you can transpire, that you can move forward, how in the world do we create this? And we don't do things because we have a certain belief already in our heads. If we have that, then we just seem to keep not executing. And execution is really the key to moving the needle in the right direction. So how do we look at this, right? There's a little test that you can do, and we'll do this another time, but it's a cool thing where you stand up and you turn around, you point your finger behind you, you stretch as far as you possibly can. And then what you do is you stand up and you close your eyes and you imagine in your brain, literally imagine in your brain, twisting your body. I want you to imagine it twisting all the way around, that you're like this yo-yo doll, the slinky doll. And I want you to imagine in your mind as you take 3 deep breaths that you're twisting all the way around. And then I want you to open your eyes after that and immediately take your finger, point it out, and stretch behind you. I guarantee you, I'll bet you $1 million, literally, that your finger is going to go farther than the first time that you did it, because you envisioned it, you believed it, you saw it to be true before you actually did the action. And so many people, when it comes to their health, They're coming into a diet, a protocol, a system, whatever, and they're coming at it with a lot of failure. They're coming at it with past stories. They're coming at it with trauma. And you're coming into something knowing that on the surface, you say, okay, I want to lose weight, but you've never actually done the work to say, okay, when I do lose this weight, what happens? How's life different? You can't visualize that. So visualization and certainty, knowing that you can do it. Now, how do we build that certainty? How do we build that belief? You go, Jesse, this all sounds great, but how the hell do I do this? One day at a time. One day at a time. One failure at a time. You see, so many people are scared to fail. And all I can tell you is that the greatest things in my life have come to me because I failed. And now, instead of being scared of failing, I wake up every day and I go, what can I fuck up? Like, what can I fail at? Like, if I'm not failing, I'm not trying. And I appreciate that's cliche. I know we've heard that before, but maybe this is the one time, maybe this time that I say it to you right now, that you're hearing this, whether it's live on a replay, whatever, maybe this is the time that it just registers different. So that's that. The next thing I want to share with you is an important tool. It's called 7 Layers Deep. And I do this with every single personal health coaching client, nutrition client. I have done this with myself. I learned it many, many years ago. I paid a lot of money for this very, very simple tool. And it's called 7 Layers to Find Your Why. Every single brand new client that I have gets an onboarding process. Every client, right? I need to know everything. I need to know what we've tried, what we've done, what's our medical history. You know, I want to know everything. What do you do? How do you sleep? How do you eat? Like everything, because we need to get it all out there. And one of the most crucial pieces of this puzzle, see, my health coaching programs are 6 months long, and they're 6 months long for a reason. It's because the work that needs to get done cannot be done in one day. We cannot take 10 years or 15 years of trauma and self-bad talk and programming our subconscious brain to believe a story that probably isn't even true. We can't take that much time and radically flip it. If you come in to see me and I just say, okay, Tim, I want you to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, you're going to be overwhelmed. So we need to take it piece by piece, chunk by chunk. But the most important thing that I could possibly share with you, and we touched on it briefly, is why are you doing this? Why do you want success? Why do you deserve to lose weight? What is it that you're really looking for? And the 7 layers deep, I'm just going to warn you in advance, if you're willing to do it, if you're willing to take the time, which I highly recommend that you do, you're going to start off in your mind. And usually by layer 5, 6, maybe it takes 7. Usually it's 5 or 6. I see this magical shift happen in my clients, and I hope it happens for you too. It's happened for me, where you go from your mind and you come into your heart. And then we get down to the nitty-gritty. Now we get down to the real reasons of what's truly bothering you. And I would highly recommend that no matter where you're at in your ER shred journey, whether you're on day 1, you're beginning tomorrow, or you're a year and a half in, you make this a practice. This is something I do every quarter at least. Every time I set a new goal, I'm trying to figure out, why is it that I want what I want? Really, why do I want it? And at first, this confused me. I'll be honest with you. Like, people used to say, Jesse, what's your why? I go, I don't know my why. Like, I just want to be healthy. Like, why do you want to run a business and make money? I'm like, because I want to make money. Like, that's my why. And I want to just say, before we dive into this, that if you need to start basic to get yourself into momentum, so you can create a little bit of certainty and belief to know that you can do it. Hello, 11-day protocol. Understand? If you can do that and you need that, go for it. But I want to challenge you to very quickly reevaluate what it is that you're doing this for. And the 7 layers deep is as simple as it sounds, but it's so powerful. So I'm going to give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, I did an onboarding with this gal. She's a mom of 3. And I started off and I said, okay, so tell me where you're at. Like, why do you want to hire a health coach? Like, what can I do to serve you? How can I serve you? What is it that you're looking for? And she said the basic thing that I hear probably 90% of the time, like, I want to lose weight and I want to get healthy. And I go, okay, great. I go, that's amazing. Like, congratulations. Like, I'm very proud of you for stepping up and saying that. But that's only one. And this is 7 layers. And I tell everybody we're going 7. And I go, so you want to lose weight and you want to get healthy. Why is that important to you? Why is that important to you? What's up, Kathy? Why is that important to you? Why is losing weight and getting healthy important to you? Well, I want to lose weight because I want to feel better, and I want to get healthy because I don't know. I forgot exactly what she said, but it was like some not thoughtful answer. And you go, oh, that's harsh, Jesse. That's somebody's thought. I appreciate that. But let me explain to you. And I said, okay, great. I said, so you want to lose weight because of this and you want to get healthy because of this. Like, why is that important to you? Level 3. Well, that's important because, somebody will make up like, I want to look good in my dress, or, I have a wedding coming up and I want to look good. Okay, that's cool. Like, you have a wedding coming up, you want to look good in your dress. Like, why is that important to you? And then we get into, well, this particular wedding, like, it's a lot of people from high school. And, I used to be an athlete. She was a soccer player. I used to be an athlete, and I'm really nervous to go to these things. And I'm just ashamed to see people. Okay. So you just want to lose weight and you want to get healthy. But now we're getting into, you feel ashamed to see people. You feel embarrassed seeing people that you went to high school with. Okay. So you don't want to feel embarrassed with the people that you went to high school with. And you don't want to feel like you are a fake because you were this high level athlete. Why is that important to you? And I got to the 6th level, and I never forget, like, it took her 5 minutes to come back. And I literally sat there. Like, if you ever health coach with me, I will literally sit here and stare at you right in the eyes, and I will be so quiet. It's a true gift that I've learned because there's so much power in silence. And what that does is it allows the person to get into their own minds, and there's tons of thoughts racing around. And you find out really what's going on. And long and behold, she comes back and she goes, I get it. And I'm like, what do you get? She goes, I don't want to miss out on life anymore. I don't want to miss out on life anymore. She's like, I don't get in pictures with my 3 kids. I run from them. And she's crying. And I'm starting to cry. Because this is why I do what I do. Like, this is why I want this for all of you. Because it's so much deeper than what this fake ass industry is pumping, which is why I'm so fed up with it. And I'm on this mission to change it because people deserve better. People deserve better. And she says, I don't want to not go to things like my high school reunions coming up. And, I want to go to more weddings, and I want to be able to ride rides with my kids. Whoa. Okay. So you want to ride rides with your kids. You want to create memories. You want to not miss out on life. But that's great. But that's the 6th level. Why is that important to you? You see how we went from the mind into the heart. And there's so many people that I witness all the time, and I see this in our group. And you're coming into this, because you saw a friend's results, and rightfully so. I mean, they're epic. Like, how can you not get excited? Like, nothing works like this. Nothing truly works like this long term, because everything's focused on fat loss. It's not focused on real health. It's not focused on muscle. It's not focused on properly teaching you how to serve your own body. And lo and behold, like, this gal, like, not only was she missing out on life, she was no longer intimate with her husband. It felt like life was not even happening. Like, she's like, I haven't even had sex in like 3 years. I don't even feel comfortable. Like, it's like a running joke, I don't want to have to make fat jokes about myself anymore, because that's how I feel that I fit in. Damn, like, I'm like getting emotional for her thinking about this, and she's not even here. And she's come such a long way so far. But that's the hard work. And I appreciate that it's hard. It sucks. It really sucks. But I want to remind you that you can do hard things. I want to remind you that you're a human being and you were designed to thrive. You were designed to do hard shit every single day. Every single day. No matter which level you get to, it doesn't get easier. Like, that is such a false narrative that we play in our head. I did too. Oh, once I get more money, life's going to be easier. No. So take the 7 levels deep challenge. 7 levels to find your true why. And when you have your true why, then we can put action into place. We can take your potential. We can create the action. The action will lead to the results. The results will create certainty. And the certainty will then create more momentum. And when the shitty days happen, not if the shitty days happen, when, oh, my baby camera went out. When the shitty days happen, they're inevitable. You now have a solid reason to remind yourself, like, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to run from pictures. I don't want to run from interactions with friends that I'm desperately dying to have connection with. I don't want to not have relations with my significant other. You see, if you're willing to be real and raw and vulnerable with yourself, it's the only person you need to be worried about. If you're willing to do that, you're willing to go there, you're willing to put yourself there, I guarantee you that your long-term results are going to be so much better than if you just stay on the surface. That's what I got to say about that. The last thing I want to share with you is just another tip, another thing. I actually learned this from a gentleman named Colin O'Brady. And Colin is a world record holder of 5 different world records. These aren't just any world records. This dude is like in his early 30s. He's already summited Mount Everest twice. He's got the fastest known times for the 7 summits, which is just amazing. He successfully rode across, I think it's called the Drake Passage. It's actually a documentary on National Geographic. You can look him up, Colin O'Brady, Drake Passage. Him and a small crew took a rowboat. They were the only people ever to cross the most dangerous ocean passage around in a rowboat, like this close to the water, self-powered, no help, no nothing. And he's got records like that. And I heard an interview with him, and it put everything in perspective to me, and I want to share it with you because it just helps me so much. And he was asked, he's like, Colin, how do you do this? Like, how do you get these amazing feats? I mean, this is like remarkable, right? And he goes, it all stems from the story that how it started. And what people see today is Colin O'Brady, 5-time world record holder, whatever other. Oh, he also is the first person ever to cross Antarctica, the entire continent of Antarctica, self-supported, pulling a 375-pound sled because you have to bring everything. He's the first American or first person ever to cross Antarctica from one side to the other. I mean, that's just insane. It's 1,000 miles in just like the harshest conditions ever. It's just I mean, you can look this up. And the dude is just amazing. Okay. Crystal actually ran with him up and down a mountain one time. That's another whole nother story. So anyways, Colin, at the age, I think it was 19, 18, something, 19 or 20, he graduated and he decided instead of going to school, he went to school and he got out. He went to Yale. That's right. He went to Yale on a scholarship. And he got out, and instead of like taking a career path, he's like, I'm going to travel the world. And I think he was in Thailand or Bangkok or something like that, some country. And he saw these guys jump roping a fire jump rope. And, he's like, wow, that looks really cool. And of course they said, hey, why don't you give it a try? And he said, yeah, I mean, what can possibly go wrong? Flaming jump rope. And he starts jumping the jump rope. He gets tangled in the jump rope, and he's now doused in kerosene, and his entire body is lit on fire. Thank God there was an ocean nearby, and he was smart enough to run and jump into the ocean and extinguish the flames. Not before 35% of his body, I think it was 35% of his body, was completely burned. Now he's in a hospital in some country. Medical care is not up to the speed as it is in America or other developed countries. And he's literally talking about laying in ICU and there's a cat walking across him and it's just the most sterile conditions. And it was in that time, and he had a very supportive mom, and his mom came and finally found him in this place, and she stayed and she begged the doctors, and she refused every day to allow him to let life be over. She would talk into him belief. She would ask him, Colin, like, I know you're burned, but what do you want to do? Like, what are you going to do when you get out of here? Mind you, the doctors are saying you'll never walk right again. You'll never be right again. And it's like, Colin, what are you going to do? And one day he said to his mom, he's like, Mom, he's like, this sounds really crazy, but I want to run a triathlon. And she's like, all right, well, we're going to start training right now. And she literally told the doctor, she said, hey, doc, give my son some weights. He's now officially training for a triathlon. What? Like 35% of your body's burned. Burns are some of the most painful, worst injuries you could have. Oh my God. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. And he's in his mind, he's training for this marathon. And he comes out of this condition. They finally get him out. He heals. He goes back. He gets the recoup work, the PT. He comes back and he goes and he runs a triathlon. Not only does he run the triathlon, he actually comes in first place. And he had to learn how to swim. He had to learn how to do all the stuff. Coming back from this, that's an example of belief. And then he said something further on in the interview, and I said, wow, this really relates to me in my ultra marathon running. I try to explain to people what it's like to run 100 miles or what it's like to run 50 miles with 11,000 feet of vertical gain and 11,000 feet of descent. And I mean, if you've never done something like that, I mean, I don't know if you can imagine it or picture it in your brain, but it is not rainbows and unicorns for the entire 50 miles, 78 miles, 100 miles, whatever the hell I'm doing at that point in time. In fact, 90% of it, 90% of the race sucks. Like, it sucks. Like, I am hurting. I'm in pain. You're in the middle of nowhere. You're running for hours and hours. Like, I'm not listening to a podcast. I'm not listening to music. I'm in my own brain. There's highs, there's lows. And I come to think of it, and Colin said something. He goes, everybody wants these 10s in life. And if you think of a scale, 1 to 10, 10 being the things that are just like the most epic things that you've happened in life, whether that's like, your child was born, or you won a medal, or you worked really hard at work and you got a promotion. Like, I would imagine that you would consider those things 10, right? If you're Dexter Jensen, right, you just celebrated his 1-year anniversary, you got a pilot's license in 2 weeks. Like, that's a 10, right? That's a 10 in life. Like, who doesn't want more 10s? But when you think about those 10s and you're really real about those 10s, what did it take for you to get to that 10? How many 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s did you endure before you got to that 10? And so many times I just see people scared to go for it because we're scared of the 1s and the 2s and the 3s because they suck. They hurt. They're not fun. They make us cry. They make us feel pain. They make us have bad feelings. But if you're scared of the 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, do you ever really truly get to experience the 10s? No. Like, why do I keep signing up for these things? If they're so painful, if they're so miserable, if every single time, literally every single time I race, I probably tell myself 5 times I'm never doing this again. Like, that's how bad it is sometimes. Why the hell do I keep finding myself on ultramarathonsignup.com? Signing up for another race? Like, why do I put myself through the pain and suffering? Why do I get up every day at 4 a.m.? Like, it's not easy every day. It sucks. Like, why do I keep doing that? Because I realize that if I want to keep having the 10s, which are not all the time, but they're so memorable in my life that I'm willing to do anything to get there. I'm willing to do anything to get there. And I appreciate that those are good days and bad days. And some of them are really bad days. And I'm not scared of those anymore. And why am I not scared? Because I see so many people just living in 5 every day. What is 5 to me? 5 is that comfort zone. We're just waking up and it's like we're robots. It's like we wake up and somebody just turns the freaking dial on our back. And it's like, boop, 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 boop. We just go through the motions, right? It's like, my job is like, okay, I don't love it. I don't hate it. I make money. I get to pay my bills. Like, it's okay. That's a 5. Like, my relationship is cool. I don't have any in-depth conversation. Like, there's no new, like, it's not good. It's not bad. Like, it's cool. Like, that's a 5. Fill in the blank. I am scared shit of the 5s. The 5s are not living to me. I used to be stuck in those 5s. And if I look at you and I say, Jesse, what's really your why? My why is I don't want to be stuck as the person I was for the first 30 years, 35 years of my 30 years of my life. Like, that person's dead. Like, I don't want that. I look at examples of people in my life that I love very much, people that are close to me, and I just watch them just getting by. And that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. You see, I'm not scared of dying. I'm not scared of death. I'm scared of getting to death and thinking to myself, what if you just did it? Like, what if you just had gotten out of your own way? What if you just like stopped the bullshit? What if you just like did the work that somebody shared with you? Like, that's what I'm scared of. I'm scared of getting there going, what if? So Every day is not going to be peachy hunky dory. Find your why. Do the work. Do the deep work because you deserve it. Figure out what's going to get you that certainty and that belief, whatever it may be. Understand that you can have all those potentials and you can get the action and you can have the results, but without that certainty and belief, it's not going to be long term. Dig deep for that why, that mission, and appreciate the scale. And know that, if you lost 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 pounds, whatever your goal may be, if you got there to that 10, just appreciate that there's got to be a journey that takes you there. And stop being so scared of the ones, the twos, the threes, and the fours, because those, my friends, are ultimately going to be what sets you free. I appreciate you. I believe in you. I believe in you so much. I hope you start to believe in you. I hope this brought you value. Please tag friends. Please share this with people. This is the bigger piece, the mindset piece. When you are willing to go through long enough, you will realize that this is so much bigger than just losing weight. This is so much bigger than getting some biceps or muscles. This has the ability to radically shift your life for the life that I believe every single one of us deserves to have. We love you all. Keep up the great work. Keep pushing. You deserve everything that you dream of. Don't you dare let anybody get in your way, especially that SOB that lives between your two ears. I hope you all have an amazing night. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye.